Hey guys, have you ever had an idea where you felt like you're gonna blow the whole world up, but right after you had that idea, a voice inside your head went, "Who are you kidding?" Like, have you ever had that idea where you're like, I've had that idea once. I was like, I'm gonna be the Bill Gates, I'm gonna be the next Bill Gates of the world, right? But right after that, a voice inside my head went, "Who are you kidding? Are you even smart enough?" That is what that voice does. Hey guys, and welcome to the episode 44 of the Artistic Show, and this is your host Armughan, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. And today we're going to talk about that voice inside your head. It's always there. And I have good news and bad news, I'm not very optimistic today. I'm more like a realist. The glass is half full and it's half empty. Right, it's half full and it's half empty. I was like checking whether I said that right. So, I have good news and bad news. And let me just give you the bad news first, right? That's what every evil person in the movie does. And I'm the evil person in the movie. You can call me the villain. It's okay. And the bad news is the voice inside your head that's always telling you, you're not good enough, you're stupid, you're not this, you're not that, and you're not intelligent, you're not rich, you're not famous, you're not worthy, you're not enough. That voice, it's always gonna be there. You can't do anything about that voice. That voice is part of you. If you can't ignore it, how many of you have ever tried to shut up that voice? You're like fighting with the voice, and you have an idea, and the voice goes, "You're not good enough." You're like, "Shut up, voice! I'm gonna show you who's good enough." Right? You are like fighting with the voice, and fighting doesn't get you nowhere because it's like this is you, and this is your voice. It's a battle between your arms. Who's gonna win? You are gonna lose. No matter the right arm, the left arm. Whoever wins, you're gonna lose. So it's no good to fight with that voice. But here's what you can do. But first, let me tell you a story about me. When I was starting out my YouTube channel, I had this idea. Like, this was such an amazing idea. I was a kid, and I was getting into this personal development thing, and I was reading books, and the first book I read, I was just reviewing it. I shared that post on my Instagram. And if you're not following me on the Instagram, the link is in the description. Go follow me. We do crazy stuff over there, right? So go. So I just posted this photo of Unlimited Power, right? That was the first book I was reading. And I thought it was like 10 years ago or something. Not 10 years ago to be realistic, but I thought it was like 5 years ago. It has to be at least. But it was just 1 year ago. I'm like, oh my God, how much growth I have had during that 1 year. And I remember when I was just, starting to read these books, Unlimited Power, then Awaken the Giant Within, all of these books, I had this crazy idea from Mr. Gary Vee, who says hustle, hustle, hustle. That guy who always says hustle. That guy put this idea in my head. I should start my own podcast. Great idea, by the way. But I thought it's gonna be all perfect. I had great self-esteem. I thought I was the most intelligent guy on the face of the planet Earth. That's who I am, baby. So I'm gonna start my own podcast, and I'm gonna show the world who I am. And what I really wanted was inside is to help people, right? I didn't want to start the show because I know people get on YouTube so that they can activate monetization. Instead, in fact, one of my friends, what he did is, like, he just posted a video when he got, like, I don't know, 40, 50 subscribers. I have 27. So he just posted a video and he said that, please help me get to 1,000 watch hours so I can activate monetization on my channel. And I was like, that is cool. I should do that. By the way, don't do that. Never do that. That's crazy. Okay, so that's what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants to earn money, but that was not where I started. I wanted that, but that was not my first priority. My first priority was to give out value. My first priority was to help people. My first priority was to take this knowledge I have and somehow, imperfectly, I was not perfect at all. The first episode I recorded sucked. And it's still on. Just go and watch that episode and you'll know what I'm talking about. It sucked, that episode. But I kept on going, and all I really wanted was to just help people, right? Just help with the knowledge that I have had. Not that I was a great expert, not that I'm a great expert now, but I know I have something that I can share with people, and I can help people who are stuck at a place where I was. Grammar mistakes, don't make grammar mistakes. So, the thing is, that's all I really wanted. Now, on the inside, I just wanted to stop feeling like a failure. I was feeling like a failure big time, right, in my life. Because I had these huge goals and I would not even work for them. I have these huge goals to, do all of this, but I would not even work for them. And one of the big pain points in my life was money, because growing up I was a kid who didn't have enough of it. So that was a big pain point for me. But I wanted to earn money by helping people. That's the real way of earning money, by the way. So that's what I was really wanted. But here was the conflict. Here was the thing which really stopped me. Every time I would go on and just record a podcast, or I had this idea and I have this crazy idea and it's so great and I want to share it with people. The thing that would happen is the voice, right? The voice stops us. The voice it's in there and it's always speaking. And I thought it was not my voice, but it kind of like is. But the voice is inside, it's always speaking. Every time, like really right now, I got to get up to recording. I knew I had to record the episode 44. I wanted to record the episode 44. I knew it's going to be awesome. I got up to recording and the voice inside like, who are you to teach people this? Who are you to do it? And who are you to blah, 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 blah. All that voice, it's going inside. And that voice always stopped me. But one day, not very far from that, I don't know, it's 2 months or 1 month from that, I was listening to a tape by Michael A. Singer. He's a great teacher in spirituality, and I was listening to a tape, and he said this. He said that, when you're at work, and if you want to practice spirituality at work, like everything is spiritual, but if you want to practice spirituality at work, this is what you need to do. When you're talking with a teammate, or when you're talking with someone who works with you or your boss, the mistake that most of us make is that we are not really listening to them, right? Has it ever happened to you? Like one person is talking to you and you're not listening to them, but you're listening to your own version of them. That voice again, right? That voice is speaking to you and you're listening to that voice more than you're listening to the person itself. And he said that if you want to fix that, and if you want to really grow in your workplace, there's only one way: shift it, right? And what he meant by shifting it, he was just like, what you're doing is you're paying attention to the voice inside and not the person outside. What if you paid attention to the person outside and didn't pay attention to the voice inside? Because you can't control it. This thing is crazy. This thing is crazy. If you try to control it, you'll go nuts. You can't control it. Do you know how many thoughts you have in a day? 6,200 thoughts. That's the average. 6,200. You cannot control that. There's a thought, there are 20 to 30 thoughts on average every single minute. How can you control that? Thoughts are just going on, they're firing off, and 95% of them aren't even yours. You cannot control that. And that was the big first aha moment. I was like, that's awesome. That's easy, but that's awesome. And so that's what I've practiced to do now. And I'm going to be honest, there are points where you feel like the voice is just you, right? Where you can't separate yourself from the voice, where even when you want to pay attention to what's happening in front of you, you're just listening to your own version of it. You're just seeing your own version of what's happening, your own version of reality. And it's hard to pay attention to the real thing that's happening. But from that point on, I have practiced this, and it's just like a muscle, right? It's just like practicing. It's just like building muscle in the gym. You build this muscle too. And once you build this muscle, whatever happens, it's like you're at a place, and this is where I feel like I am right now. I am at a place where I am unaffidable, right? And unaffidable means like we're a place where you're centered, where nothing in the world can literally remove you out of your self place. What I mean by that is you're such at peace with yourself, you don't need the world to behave your way. Just because you don't listen to the voice, you appreciate what's happening in front of you. That's what I have achieved through this journey that I've had, through that epiphany that I had. And to be really, really honest, I feel so centered. I feel at peace. I feel excited. And every time I have that voice, I do have that even now. That voice is in there, but I don't listen to it. It just keeps blah, blah, blah. But I don't listen to that voice anymore. And just because of that, I'm a better person. Just because of that, I can help more. Just because of that, I don't feel like a failure, because I am not. It's the voice that was telling me, you're a failure, you're not intelligent, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. But just because I've decided not to listen to that voice, I feel I am worthy, I feel I am beautiful, and I feel that I am strong, and I feel that I'm a sharer, I'm a giver. That's what I feel, just because I don't listen to that damn voice. And here's what you can do about the voice. Here's how you can not listen to the voice. The first step is that you need to understand that the voice inside your head, and this was the first core understanding that I've had. I was going through this course from Michael A. Singer, and all the learnings that I have had were like life-changing, man. It transformed my life completely on the inside, right? So I was going through this course, and I learned this. I learned that you are not your own thoughts, right? You are not your own mind. You are not a mind. You are not a body. You are not a heart. Although that seems very romantic, right? Very romantic too, especially poets and writers. But I'm sorry, poets and writers, you are not your own heart, body, or mind. What you are is a soul. People say that I have a soul. No, you are a soul. You don't have a soul. You are a soul and you have a body. That's how it takes. The body is your vehicle for making your soul go from place to place. And you got to make sure the vehicle is strong. Yes, but you got to make sure that you are strong. You're listening to me right now, watching this video on your phone, your computer, or whatever device you're watching me on. You are not the body you're not the hand that's holding the device, right? You are the one who's watching. You are not the eyes, you're the one who's watching. You're not the mind, you're the one who's watching. Let me give you a really fun example of this. Like, do you remember when you were a child? And what if you were a child and let's say that there's an experience when you were a child, and you must remember some experiences, right? And you're a child and you get up and you walk to a mirror. How do you know that that was you? If you say that you, no, I am my body, right? How am I not my body? This is my body. This is unique. Everybody has unique bodies, right? They do. But you didn't have the same body when you were a child, but you remember that experience. Very interesting. If you were not the body, then who were you? You were the soul that's inside the body. That's inside. You are the soul. I mean, I can't explain it to you enough. And I was watching this YouTube video by Oprah Winfrey and Michael Singer, both of them. And Oprah said that once she was in India and there was this monk and he did this crazy thing with her. And I am doing this crazy thing with you too. So buckle up, close your eyes. That's what he did. He said to Oprah. And that's what I'm saying to you. Like, really, if you're not driving or doing anything like that, just close your eyes for a moment and imagine a rectangle, right? See a red rectangle in your head. Can you see it? Yes, you can. I can. And now see a blue triangle. Can you see the triangle in your head? Yes, you can. Like, it's not a complicated stuff. And now see a yellow square. Just in your head. Just see a yellow square, right? It's yellow, it's beautiful, it's mushy, and it's a square. That's what it is. Now open your eyes back up. Now tell me, were you the red rectangle, or were you the blue triangle, or were you the yellow square? Which of the three things you were? What are you? And you might be thinking like, what are you, crazy? I'm not those things. Right, you're not those things. You're the one who's watching those things. So please do not think that this voice inside your head that's going on, these thoughts you have, these are yours. These are not. 95% of the thoughts you have are just repetitive thoughts. They are not yours. These are just the things that you have learned from the point where you were born to the point where you are now. These are just repetitive thoughts. They keep on coming. They keep on coming. They keep on coming. And then only 5% of the thoughts that you make yourself. Like, it's like, think about it this way. Your mind is like the TV. And you are sitting on a couch in front of the TV and you're watching what happens. You're watching what happens. And really, really fast, these thoughts are coming, they're going by, these pictures are playing, and all crazy stuff is happening, and it's happening really fast. And you're seeing every single one of it. But you are not that stuff. You are the one who's experiencing that stuff, right? That is the basic understanding of the core of even spirituality. That's what it's all about. You are a soul. You are not the thought. You are not the voice. You are not the voice which says, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. That's bullshit. If you say that I'm saying this to myself. No, you're not saying that to yourself. That yourself. That's the voice going. So please separate yourself from the voice. And when you separate yourself from the voice, that is a place where you have the power. When I separated myself from the voice, when I was Like, okay, the mind is a separate thing, the heart is a separate thing, and I'm the experiencer of everything that happening. Everything shifted from me from that place on. It takes some practice, and I'm going to give the practice to you, but that is the core understanding of all of it. That is the core understanding of spirituality. That is what like Buddhists try to do, right? Get back into the seat of self. Get back to a place where they are a soul, where they are not so much sucked into the voice that's going on inside their head. That's what they try to do, separate them. And you need to understand that you are the experiencer watching the TV of your mind. That's it. Okay, so first you understand this. Okay, the second thing what you need to do is just know that the voice in your head, it's gonna go on, and it's gonna go on forever. But what you can do is choose to not listen to it. Let's take it a little, only one step further. I'm not gonna make this very complicated for you, just one step further. There's a process, there are two processes in Buddhism which are called clinging and resisting. And clinging and resisting is what the psyche is all about. And let me take you through a story. Let's say that there's this guy named John, and John is walking through a woods and he sees a snake, and the snake bites John, right? Devastating, right? And John is frightened. John is devastated. John is crying for help. John is so frightened. And what happens afterward is, that's John 20 years before. Now John has grown 20 years in his life. Let's say John was a baby. That's when the snake bit him. Now John is an adult, and he's walking through the same forest, right? He's walking through the forest, and he sees a rope. Just like the snake, he sees a rope. And what happens with John? He's afraid. He's frightened. Why? It happened 20 years ago. The snake bit John 20 years ago, but now he sees just a rope that resembles the snake, and he's frightened. And let's take the example of me. Okay, let's say Armughan is going, and he's in his car, and he's driving, and the sun is setting, and it's such beautiful, right? It is so beautiful to watch the sun. And Armughan is like really, he is sucked into the experience. He's enjoying it, so much pleasure. Oh my God, it's a beautiful experience which is happening. And that happens, and it went away. But what happens? For the next 20 years, Armughan didn't get to experience that, and he was sad about it. That is clinging and resisting. I'm going to explain it to you. John resists snake because of an event that happened in his past. Armughan clings to the sunset just because he once experienced it and it was so pleasurable. Now he wants it again and again. What's the problem with this? What's the problem? Go ahead. The problem is that Armughan cannot get to experience the sunset the same every day, because the law of familiarity, right? You experience one thing, it's not the same thing. It's not the same experience when you see the thing the second time. The law of familiarity takes over. So what you have to do is just be grateful for what you have, right? And resisting is, you have an experience in your past that frightened you, that scared you, that made you angry, that made you something, right? And you have this experience when you were a kid, and you resist anything. Like let's say that you saw a snake and you resist all snakes and you're afraid. But now you see something that matches a snake. In your after 20 years, after 40 years, you see something that matches a snake, and you have all of those frightening experiences. Again, why is that? Because in your mind, you are resisting. Think about it this way. You are seated in your couch, in your mind. Like, you are the experiencer, right? And you're watching your mind. And all of a sudden what happens is, when you resist to stuff and when you cling to stuff, it's like a dim picture of that stuff is imprinted on your TV screen forever. Whatever channel you're watching, that little picture of that rope or that sunset, it's always going to be there. Either you're going to want it, or either you're going to resist something. This clinging and resisting is what the psyche in the end is all about. That's how we make preferences. That's how we make up our mind. That's the survival mind, right? All of us have a survival brain. And the reason is because before we were so civilized and all of this, we were cavemen. And the survival brain, its job was to make us survive. So whenever a new opportunity comes up, we have three core three core red flags that are popping in our survival brain. And those red flags are, shall I mate with it? Shall I run from it? Shall I eat it? Whether it's a friend, whether it's a prey, or whether it's gonna eat me, right? What is it? Well, that's what we are doing. All of us. That's why we have a survival brain. And if you cannot live your life from this part of your brain, there's this great story about this Buddhist monk, and he walks every day to his temple, and he goes there to get his teaching from his master, and his master is a very humble being, right? And this guy, when he walks every single day for 20 years, he sees this tree. This tree is just tree, right? That's what it is, just tree. Just a tree, it's in the path. And one day what happens is, after 20 years, the monk who's walking, one day he's walking back to his class. And he sees this tree, and this tree is beautiful. This tree is magnificent. This tree is the most beautiful tree there is. And he walks to the master and he says, Master, I saw this tree, and this was awesome, right? This was it was just a tree, but it was tree. Oh my God, I loved it, right? It was tree. And the master, very humble being, he said, you have walked past that tree for 20 years. What did you see now? He said that for the 20 years, what I was seeing was a version of the tree, not the tree. But today I saw just tree. Just tree. That's it. That's what I have for you. Just tree. Watch what it is, not your version. And there are a million things, and it comes back to clinging and resisting, right? What you cling to and what you resist, you tend to see a lot more of it because you're focusing on it. That's what it's like. It's like you're driving and you're saying to yourself, oh my God, don't hit a wall, don't hit a wall. And there's a wall. Oh my God, don't hit a wall, don't hit a wall, don't hit a wall. And all of a sudden you crash. That's what happens. Right? Do not do that while driving. If you look at a wall, you're going to go to the wall. If you say to yourself, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, you're going to do that. What you can do is replace your focus, right? So just let go. I explained all of this idea of clinging and resisting, so I can explain that this voice, where does this voice come from? It comes from your past experiences. It comes from your fear. It comes from your scars. It comes from the things you love. It comes from the things you hate. You cling or resist. That's what it's all about. And if you understand that, it's a game changer for you. And the second thing is, I want to share with you a story from Michael Singer. And again, he's a humble being. Michael Singer, I have learned a lot from him. And basically, these are mostly his teachings, which I'm teaching to you. He was building this temple after 15 years of meditation in the forest. In the forest he has built a tree house, and he would get up, and most of the time there were dogs barking and there were this, and he was like, oh my God, can you believe me? I have came out in this forest and dogs are barking and I can't meditate even away from people. And so he made this temple. He made a decision to make this temple as his students were growing, and he was making this temple with his students, himself. He's putting every piece of the log, and he's carpenting and doing everything. And he said that as I was putting every single piece of log of that temple, as I was building that temple, my voice was going, don't do it, don't do it. These people are not going to come after a week. Don't do it, don't do it. That was what the voice was saying, over and over again. But he said that it's been 35 years, and to this day, at least 40 people come to that temple every week. And I look at the voice in my head that said, don't do it, don't do it. I look at the voice inside my head, and I put my tongue out, and I make fun of it, that's what it does. The voice inside your head is not supporting you. The voice inside your head is just a fear, primal instinct that all of us have, and it's only there to make us survive. That's its primal job. It does not know. So just please stop listening to it. All comes back to the thing that I said in the beginning. All you can do about the voice inside your head, it's going to stay there. That's bad news. It's going to stay there. But the question is, what are we going to do about it? Do not pay attention. The voice inside my head right now is going, oh my god, you're recording for 30 minutes. Like, oh, you don't speak for this much. Oh, you're thirsty. But I'm not listening to it. I'm here for you guys. I'm here to help. That's what I'm here to do. If I choose to listen to it, it's game over for me. I can't even record. I can't even speak. I can't even post, and I can't even live. That's what it is. So please, whenever you have this voice in child you have, just practice getting your attention off, getting your attention to a place where it's safe, getting your attention to the beautiful thing that's happening. Life is beautiful. What ruins life is this voice. What ruins life, it's our psyche. What ruins life is when we don't see the tree, when we see our versions of the tree, just like that monk. For 20 years, he saw his own version of the tree. But now he's seeing just tree, and it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's magnanimous. And I know I just made that word up. Magnanimous is not a word, but I made it up. But it's great. And that's what I want you to do. Just pay attention to the beautiful life that's happening in front of you. And I know your life will be enriched, and I know your life experiences will be magnified. That's how you intensify the feelings of joy, the feelings of love, the feelings of happiness. And that's what I have for you in today's episode. I hope you learned a lot. And this is my first time teaching this thing, so I was like really excited about it. And I know it has been great. Please leave your feedback to me in the comment. I love that. I love to hear your feedback. And watch out for the next episode. And before you go, press the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can never miss any videos from me.